Aloha and happy Aloha Friday. This is The Art of Life and I'm your host Willow Chang. We do broadcast live every Friday from 2 to 3 p.m. here in the heart of downtown Honolulu. Ladies and gentlemen, we have some very special guests, but I might add that every guest on The Art of Life is special. We've got extra special sauce. So we've got two wonderful ladies in the house representing Twirling Girlish. Don't adjust your dial, I just said Twirling Girlish. And they are all about the art of hoop dance. So, Miss Sirkka, Miss Katie.
Miss Willow.
Aloha.
Aloha, madam.
My spidey senses tell me that we're going to have a whole lot of fun today.
Yes.
So, first of all, as everybody knows, our format is the Spider-Man story of how did you become to be affiliated and obsessed with all things plastic and circular and rotating and hooping, one at a time, please, because my brain's not that complex to hear two people at the same time. How'd you get involved with hooping?
Okay. I actually just had a wonderful friend who is a beautiful dancer, and I became enamored with her awesomeness and decided that I had to endeavor on that myself. I had missed dance for a long time. I danced for 12 years, tap, jazz, and ballet, and I didn't have all the funds in the world to go back to it, and she left one at my house, and it all started there.
And you never gave it back.
Yeah, never returning.
Awesome.
I went to Ala Moana shopping with my dear friend for her 36th birthday. And all she wanted to do was spend the day without children tugging on her and just go walk through a mall. And so the first thing she wanted to do was go to the Disney store.
Okay.
So we went to the Disney store and there was a big sale on Tinkerbell hula hoops. And so I went and grabbed one immediately and said, well, this. And she's like, you're going to carry that around all day? You're never going to use it? I said, watch, in a week I'll have rock hard abs and you'll be begging to use it. And I got it home, couldn't use it because it was a kid's size one, and went online, looked up how to hula hoop and started learning about adult size hula hoops, ordered myself one, and the very first time I used it, I hooped for over 5 hours and never put it down. So it's been,
smokes,
and there was nobody on the island to go hula hoop and play with. So I actually went online and found this lovely lady, and
Sure enough.
yeah, we just went to go play in the park, and I said, teach me everything you know.
Can we cue the song?
Yeah.
Two less lonely people in the world. Wait a minute, maybe it should be hoop, there it is.
Oh no.
Oh my.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to say this. Your hair might be getting onto your microphone. Yes, yes. Okay, so very interesting stories, ladies. I think everyone always has a story, and it's essential to find out the how did that come to be thing. So you mentioned something interesting, because I think at some point everybody, at least in the continental U.S. and maybe Hawaii as well, they've played with a hoop. This is very much what, if you go to Summer Fun, which is a fun, I'm making up my own language. It is a fun, free state, city and county run program where people like drop off their kids from 8 to 2 and maybe they swim at the pool and they do arts and crafts. But the hula hoop, very, very popular.
Definitely
I think that's when like the junior leaders and the leaders are like, oh, we can't deal with 40 kids. Let's roll out the red balls and the hoops. And then you just, put on a boombox and the kids go crazy. I love hooping. I did. But you mentioned something about adult size hoops. So educate us that on the adult size hoop so people can forego that frustration if they decide to go get a tiny little hoop thinking it's going to work if they're an adult.
It's so true.
Will not work. So I would say that this is probably closer to the size of a children's hoop. Very challenging to keep up. It's very, very lightweight.
Okay.
And you have to move very fast and aggressively when you're a beginner especially.
Are you wrecking some physics on us?
Yes,
Okay.
I am. Just trying to keep you on your toes.
Standard size for your beginner hoop typically would be belly button roughly, maybe a little taller.
On the bottom
but,
here we have what we call a body rocker. And this is kind of a standard
booby trap.
and
a
then
standard
everything's
booby trap.
falling. This is a standard adult size hoop, and people always see this and they say, what, I need something smaller, and you do not.
Whoa, Nelly.
And a comparison, woo, is
To
that
this
it fits
guy.
in the center, yes.
Of
a lot
this
room.
guy.
It's
So
kind of like when you order the small fries, you're like, oh, I don't need big fries. And
Yeah.
then you're like, know, I should have ordered the big size.
Well, the big hoop's more like a Cadillac. You can
Okay.
get in there and you don't have to be so aggressive. You can move a little bit more slowly. You can tap into your body's movements, you know.
So it's a
without
little more
awareness.
forgiving. I'm trying to figure out where that sound. It's the microphone went
The
south.
microphone disappeared. There it goes.
We're all back.
There you go.
It's all good. We're adaptable friends. So the large, we're not going to call it the large hoop. We're going to call it the adult hoop.
Adult hoop, body
The-
rocker.
The body rocker allows for the learning curve, but then it also allows for you when you advance and you make all of those like pimped out tricks and things. You actually have the option to do that because the hoop will accommodate that.
The hoop will accommodate it.
Okay.
It's easier to learn with a larger diameter hoop.
Okay.
A lot of tricks that you do learn with hoop dance is all about finding the open space, the hole in which you're ducking in and out. You're utilizing a lot of open space. Now, of course, the larger the size of the hoop, the more open space you're going to have in front of you in order to have time to duck in, duck out, whereas a smaller hoop, you're going to have to know exactly where you need to be when you need to be there.
So
So
we
there's a
wanna-
larger margin of error.
Okay,
There.
so I'm going to clarify for this because there are some people maybe they've never been to Golden Gate Park and they've never been to Burning Man. They do not know what you're speaking of. Suddenly, it's a
Who are
fake
these
Russian
people?
accent. When you're dancing with the hoop, it's not primarily just letting it rotate around your torso or your hips, as most people think of as hula hooping. There's many more movements that are integrated into that. So you're saying, I've seen you guys. You're amazing. I mean, I'm thinking Harlem Globetrotters, but with a hoop.
Yeah.
So like that hoop is traveling all over your body and around your neck and around your
Right.
arms, and then you're in the hoop and out of the hoop, and it's airborne, and there's catching.
It's
and-
object manipulation.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
many things like, I mean, it's a whole world of wow. It is. A whole world of wow. Okay, so in addition to having these different size hoops, there are different types. We have like little baby socks here.
Little baby socks. Yeah. So actually, after there's the big body rockers, and then we kind of graduate down to what we call a dance weight hoop.
Okay.
Now this would be, these are actually kind of neat because they collapse. We make them. We make all of our hoops, and they collapse down.
Do you ever get panicked people who are like, I've got a hoop, I don't know how to break it down, and you have
Yes.
to like talk them through it,
We
like
actually
tech support?
put a tutorial online just for that reason, because people would call and be like, I'm unsure and I'm afraid and I don't want to kink it. And that way we're like, okay, well, just go watch the video. And
So this means
it
that you
checks
can
out.
go through TSA with a breeze.
it's actually pretty fun. They used to kind of look at you like, what do you have in your hoop? And now they're so used to it, you know, and they're really looking at it, and, you know, but now they're so used to it, the first thing is, do you know how to do tricks? Can you do a trick? And you're in line and you're like, I can do some tricks for you.
It's great that they give you no static, because once upon a time I used to travel with my sword, because yes, belly dancers sometimes dance with these things, and I had my sword in a martial arts bag. And it's interesting because when I go to the airport, they were like, oh, do you play pool? Because I guess they're like, ooh, women playing pool is a hot commodity. And I'd say, no, it's my sword. And the stock would just go down. And suddenly they're like just not interested. And I'm like, hey, I'm dancing with a sword. I'm balancing stuff on my head. But, you know, people are strange. So you can travel with the hoop.
You can travel with it.
You can travel with the hoop.
Yeah.
So you have a dance weight.
We
We've
do,
got
and then
the
these,
adult.
the one that you were talking about
Yeah.
with the socks. This one actually is a
You
fire
can say
hoop.
this socks.
The socks. this rocks. This rock socks.
Like we could pull
You
a
wanna
sock
show
off
'em
for
that?
you. Definitely.
Like, do that?
They have wicks. These are fire hoops. This prevents the soot from getting all over the place, but
All over everything?
yeah.
I want to subject you to all of the silly questions that you have heard many times over and over again.
Please
But then
do.
you will have this immortality with our link, and you can just send them the link. So, that being said, do you have to be wearing flame retardant clothing when you do this, or is it less clothing is better? How do you
On fire?
maintain not igniting yourself?
Well-fitting clothes is probably
Okay.
ideal.
Natural
definitely,
fibers.
and natural fibers. Yeah.
is
read
it
my mind.
possible to burn yourself? Is it that type of thing where it actually...
Absolutely.
I'm just going to ask the basic
Yeah,
stuff.
absolutely you can. Some people, I have some like, what are they called, Kevlar? Kevlar sleeves that go up my arms so that I
It's
don't.
like oven mitts.
Yeah, they're like enormous.
But they're very
fingerless,
fancy and cute.
Fancy
Yeah.
and cute oven mitts, yeah, that go up the sleeves, and that way you don't burn here. Your hair, you want to keep that tight back.
I think you definitely want to be proficient with the hoop before you hoop with fire. I've only
Come on,
even...
you always have a student who's like, no, I'm going to learn to do the fire hoop
yeah,
first.
we definitely do. We have some beginner-ish students that still dance with fire, but I've definitely only done it a limited amount of times, and I enjoy it. But yeah, it's definitely
You
scary.
want to get
and
used to the prop unlit. I would suggest getting used to hand placement, things of that sort before you actually.
This is wise.
Yeah.
Have you ever
Don't
danced
try
to
this
Johnny
at home.
Cash, Ring of Fire?
no, but we should make that happen. It should
But we're
happen.
gonna now.
It's
Do,
gonna-
do, 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 do.
Can you overdub it over this program?
Yeah, we might have to do that. This is fascinating. So, chicken or the egg, which came first, the hoop or the flaming hoop, the ring of fire?
I think, I mean, so to speak, I mean, of course, there's Native American hoop dance.
Yes.
And that's gone back a long time, but even a long way back. Like, they used to use grapevines and wrap them up and play with them, you know, children, long time ago. Hoops have been around for kind of ever. Like, it's kind of like who invented the wheel kind of
Do you run
story.
with it with a small stick like a Victorian
Not
child?
typically myself, but that doesn't mean that hasn't happened. And I think that's probably, yes, maybe where some of it started.
Yeah, very fascinating. Is there a certain type of person? I mean, we like to think everybody is included and involved, and that's always the probability. But do you find there's a certain type of person that is attracted to hoop dancing?
We have such a diverse
Community, definitely.
students are young, old, it's everybody. That's what
Purple.
I really love about it is that seriously everybody can do it.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks they can't, which is the funny thing, and actually a really beautiful thing, because the moment that they say they can't and then all of a sudden they do it, they have a little bit of instruction and they realize that they can do things with their bodies that they weren't
Yeah, you can
able
do
to
it.
do before. And instead of I can't do it, it turns into, oh, I can do this.
Yes, turn a can't into a can. It's interesting because in this realm of flow arts and movement arts or being in your body, so many people are inclined, especially, I'm going to gong all the adult population, because adults in particular, they're the first to say, oh, I'm not very coordinated, or I wasn't good at sports, or I'm not really a dancer. I mean, they're so programmed and conditioned to just instantly say, I can't do this.
Yeah,
And it drives me bananas.
I didn't touch a hula hoop till I was 35. I didn't have one as a kid. I grew up in the mountains. I didn't have.
And in the beginning, they're probably right. Like, they're not going to be amazing at it. And some people even struggle to waist hoop, but surprisingly, waist hooping is a more difficult move than a lot of the other beginner moves that we teach. So there's something for everybody, and if you step outside the box, the narrow view of just hooping on your waist, which is what I think
Yeah.
is typically thought of, then
Step outside the box and step into
into
the
the
hoop.
circle. Yeah,
Circle.
definitely.
Yeah,
Pull
Kuma
this bad
Matata, it's
boy
the
out
circle
there.
of life.
Now this is really
fancy.
fun. This is fun and fancy. This would be for you. This is the other option. If you don't want to burn yourself, there's
You have the
hoops
options.
that have really, really neat light patterns, and you can't. It might be a little challenging to see. And
Does it induce epilepsy?
epileptic seizure?
I think it can.
I think it actually can. Yeah. So
Funny that
warning.
you should say that.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's some strobing action in there.
I'm feeling less in my heart. I think I'm gonna have to write Santa an email. This is pretty fabulous.
It's really awesome.
I wish we could kill these lights so you could really see how
I
cool
know,
it
I
is.
know, and it's neat. It has a remote that can be, so the hoop can actually be operated from off stage, and you can plug it into your computer and actually match it with your choreo and match it with your partner's
Pretty
hoop.
technologically
Yeah,
spectacular.
what they've come up with is amazing.
It's pretty cool. See, it's ThinkTech Hawaii. It's a tech hoop. On that fabulous note, meditate on tech, meditate on hoops. We're going to be back in just a few moments. This is The Art of Life.
Hi, I'm Donna Blanchard, and I host the show Center Stage on the ThinkTech Hawaii digital series right here every Wednesday from 2 to 3 Hawaii time. I would really love to have you watch the show and see what we do here. I talk with some of the most amazing people, artists, most of them, all of them involved in some sort of artistic process. And our goal here on the show is to dig into that artistic process, and you would not believe what some people say, what some people do, what people go through to express. And these are people who have to express somehow, and I find that infinitely interesting. Not only that they have to express, but how they end up doing it. I really hope that you will watch the show and enjoy talking with some of these people the same way that I do. Thanks, and I hope to see you soon on Center Stage on the ThinkTech Hawaii Digital Series, Wednesdays from 2 to 3. See you soon.
One. Aloha, my friends. This is The Art of Life with Willow Chang. I am your hostess with hopefully the mostest. I am always on a mission to hunt down, sniff out, and smoke out of their holes people who are interesting, fantastic, and prevent cultural erosion here in Hawaii. They are diversified, passionate, compassionate, educated, artistic, all of those good things. And did I fail to mention down to earth and humble? What's not to like? If you want to find out more about the show, please check us out on Facebook at The Art of Life with Willow Chang. I have done all the dirty work, and every back episode of The Art of Life is there, so you have no excuses. And at the end of next month, we're coming up to a 1-year anniversary, so chop chop. We might have to have like a little pop quiz and some prizes or something. Enough with that madness. We have today Sirkka and Miss Katie in the house. My earplug is moving around. And these are the goddesses and the mistresses of all things hoop.
Oh, that's
Their group is Twirling Girlish. Kind of saucy. We are
You're
G-rated
marketing
here.
us from now on.
I know. You know, you took us through and cataloged all these fantastic hoops, and I thought it would be pretty nifty, since it's a visual thing and we don't have the space and the capacity to hoop here. But we're going to let some pictures do the heavy lifting. So we're going to cut away to some photos, and you guys can look at that silhouettes in the
That's
hoop.
actually at Magic Island.
That is magical. That's a magical
It's
image.
not photoshopped, actually. We all just ran up there, and yeah, it was
I think
us.
you need
spur
to
of the
make that
moment.
onto like a tote bag or
Right?
a
Something.
commemorative keychain. It's pretty fabulous.
Oh
You
boy.
guys are so cute.
Okay.
That's a Bob McKeon photo, as you can
It
tell by the credit
is.
there.
We were hula hooping bonbons in the Nutcracker Circus.
That is so cute.
Kate actually came out on somebody's shoulders. She was about 8 feet tall at the beginning of that routine and had a, 6-foot-long skirt on or something like that.
Oh,
Mother
I think I
Ginger.
was actually more like 10 or 12 feet
10 or
tall.
12 feet
yes,
tall.
with an
Take
8
that,
or
Grace
10
Jones.
foot
8 or
long
10 foot skirt.
skirt. Yeah.
These are the few joys of being travel size.
Yeah,
you know?
right?
Yeah. I love this photo. Love, love, love. I'm so sad that you can only click like once on Facebook.
I
would
know.
click it about at least 1,000 times.
it fun?
And then go back the next day and do another 1,000.
Oh, it was
so
a silly
cute.
day.
It was a really silly
I'm assuming
day.
this is the fountain that's right near Kapiolani Park in
is.
Diamond Head.
Mhm.
Every time I see that fountain, I think of the Go-Go's with that video that they did, Our
Yes.
Lips Are Sealed.
Yes.
Ay, 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 look at you, you
Oh.
sprite little thing.
That was on my 3-year hoop-iversary. That's a term within the hoop community. Every year that you celebrate, it's your hoop-iversary. So.
I like it. So instead of rotating around the sun, it's rotating around your rotations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. You guys are so cute.
Oh, thank you.
It's so cute. We need like little finger puppets. So this is so cute. I like this. You know what? The thing that I think it's also really groovy is I feel sisterhood. I see your images and I can taste the aloha. It's so delectable.
The whole community is pretty amazing, though. Everybody, you
Beautiful
feel like you're at home with everyone. You feel like you definitely have found your quote-unquote tribe, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Everybody's very inclusive and loving, and it's
Even through all the diversity and the...
Yeah. Look at this.
Ah.
You're Lilu, right?
I am
Oh my
Lilu.
God.
ah,
Fifth Element.
yeah,
totally was.
That's
That was
fantastic.
really great. That was really great.
Me
That was at
gusta.
Sheraton Rumfire, New Year's,
Very
two years ago.
cool.
Spectacular duct tape creation.
Yeah. Girl. I like it.
Oh, to girlish.
That
And
makes
there's the hoop. So for those of you who are like, what is that light up hoop?
Yes.
That's what it looks like. It's fabouche. Indeed.
I think that was at Wanderlust.
That is very, very cool.
Turtle Bay.
We're getting into some sacred geometry.
That's
there.
what I was about to say. I was going to
Yeah.
say that would be considered a hoop mandala, and
Absolutely.
there's a lot of sacred
And we
geometry
got
within
some
the community
little
too.
Venn diagrams going on in the mix, and a little bit of spirograph. And here's your fabulous, lovely graphic. We had to throw that in the mix.
Andrew
So-
Toll, best
Yep,
graphic
Andrew
artist on the
Toll.
island. He's the best. He really
He
is great.
the best. Yay! We got to the photos.
We did.
Wait, what did... That was the last picture. This is the omniscient voice of God in my ear. So I want to also explore, because you guys are not solely based here in Hawaii. You have hooping tentacles and seeds that have been planted in other communities and locales. Tell us about that. Something about hoop camp. I heard a word hoop camp.
Retreat.
Yeah.
Santa Cruz, the Pima Osling Buddhist retreat.
Wow.
Deep in the redwoods in Santa Cruz, in the land of Medicine Buddha. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's a 5-day retreat. It's all things hoop. It's lira, sear wheel, 12 hours of hoop intensives a day, 3 gorgeous organic meals blessed by the monks. It's an amazing place to go. And if you're into hoops, it's better than Disneyland. Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. And it's the end of September. We're going to be
Definitely.
presenting there this year. We co-produced it for its 5th year, and it's in its 7th. So yeah, we started the business here, and we took it to the West Coast and broadened it, and then I left for about 6 to 8 months, and then I came back, and Kate kind of kept the ball rolling while I was gone.
Or the hoop spinning.
Or the hoop spinning while I was gone. And we came back together and just, went forward. But it has been nice to broaden it, like you said, the tentacles everywhere.
Yeah.
Because it is such a beautiful community. And it's popular all over the world. It's really
Yes.
gaining popularity. I think, what is there, 11 countries
Oh.
at Hoop Camp that are...
Oh yeah, at Hoop Camp. I was going to say I think there's a lot more countries that actually
Right, but
hoop,
just
though,
even
but
at
yeah.
Hoop Camp represented, I believe there's 11.
It's the UN of hooping.
I think
It is
that's
the
been the
UN
most.
of hooping.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, but it has been a beautiful experience to leave Hawaii, expand that community, and come back and be able to grow the Hawaii community. Because we were
Absolutely.
just kind of lone hoopers in the park with people
true.
looking at us like our heads were on fire. And we're standing there
It
with
was
hoops
only
going,
your hoop.
Please, please just hula hoop with us.
Touch
Just,
my hoop,
Hi,
please."
stranger. Just
What's
do
really
this."
interesting is when you are a singular person, it is kind of that way. Like you're the strange lady
The
at
weird
the
lady
park
in
with
the
the
park.
hoop.
I don't know
But
what you're talking
if
about.
there's more than one of you, for some reason, it's a thing then,
Yeah.
and people want to join along. So
Yeah.
it does help to have a comrade, and
It does.
you know.
And
We
so
like the
yeah,
comrades.
we just kind of started that, and we started at Magic Island with just a few hoops and a little sign,
Yeah.
just begging people to come play with us. And while we moved it actually to, what was it, Kapiolani area,
Queen's Beach now.
Queen's Beach now, and we practice every Sunday, 4:30 till dark.
Okay.
And now we
And-
play in conjunction with the Waikiki Acrobatic
Oh,
Troupe.
they're awesome.
They've been out there for I think 40
the
years or something
70s.
silly
Yeah.
like that. So.
Yeah.
And they're amazing. They're absolutely
They are.
incredible. And at the Circus Jam that we hold on Sundays at Queen's Beach, there's slacklining and juggling and poi and hooping. We bring hoops and music, and we invite anybody in the community to come and check it out.
Come and see us.
Come and see us. Come play with us. We will get you in a hoop. We'll get you waist
Definitely.
hooping. You know, it's a really awesome opportunity to try a bunch of different things. Everybody is more than willing to help with their subsequent arts
Yeah.
and letting people try them. If you want to try slacklining, there's going to be a couple people there to spot you so that you can try
Absolutely.
this new thing out. You're
Yeah.
not just limited at Circus Jam to hoops.
And it's quite a spectacle, even if you don't want to participate. It's totally worth going down and spending a Sunday afternoon
Sometimes
because
we
it's
just
very
watch.
fun. Yeah.
We're all in touch with our inner Carney.
We are. Who says you can't join the circus?
Yeah,
Not my
exactly.
mama.
I wanted to ask you guys, we're going to go into the philosophical zone, if I may hijack you there. One of the things about turning is that the idea that you remain centered while the energy is rotating around yourself. And here, it's similar because the hoop is moving around you but you are remaining centered and grounded in that. What's that experience like? I mean, to me, that definitely sounds like moving meditation. I'm going to just call it that.
And it definitely is, I think. I was going to say, the really cool thing about it, and I think that's where the sacred geometry comes in, is at some points I think that you reach some kind of connection with like phi and Fibonacci sequence through spiraling, but then I mean everything is kind of whizzing about in circles in the universe, from the microcosm, like molecular structures, to planetary celestial things out there, so you kind of tap into that spin. You kind of
also the whole flow. You know what I mean? That ability to allow yourself to maybe resolve to release the self-doubt and the shouldas and the couldas and the I can'ts, and then finally to just do it and to let it flow. What a relief.
It's a beautiful tool to tap in. It's a beautiful tool to come into the present moment.
Right.
Because you have to be concentrating on what you're doing. The moment that you're thinking about something else or your attention is deflected somewhere else, your hoop's going to fall.
You can't think about the casserole. You got to think about the hoop.
You have to think about the hoop. And then just even like you were saying, you actually described it perfectly, where you are center, and when you're spinning and the rest of the world is moving, there is a thing called sustained spinning, and a lot of people are familiar with Whirling Dervish and things of that sort. When you are doing sustained spinning with a hoop, it does feel like that. It does feel like you are very still, you are the fixed object, and everything else around you is moving. And there's a tranquility, a quietness that you can attain rather quickly. And so it is a moving meditation. And it's challenging for people to wrap their head around that because they think of a hula hoop as a toy.
Right.
And that's really the awesome, sneaky little thing about it, is that you're having fun, and people also think of spirituality and meditation as a very serious thing.
Heavy.
I am going to go meditate now and get spiritual, and I'm serious about
Pass
it.
the beads.
I don't think that way. I think that your spirituality should resonate and create joy in you. I think that your practice should be joyful. I think that happiness is what we're trying to attain.
Yeah, we tap into like the inner child. That's a lot of things that come out, I think, within everybody in the hoop community.
Absolutely.
The art of play is so important.
It's a
I
great
think adults forget to play.
That's true. It's a great metaphor for life, because there's always going to be things that are spinning around. So if you can find that center, find your joy, enjoy playing, right? Be playful.
And if you're having a moment that you are not finding your center, actually grabbing your hoop and getting there. Sometimes the visual that I've always had in my head since I began hooping was almost like the spin cycle of a washing machine. It's filled with water, and then it starts to go faster and faster, and you're spinning, and the water is pushing itself out from the middle, right? And I feel that way when we call it taking it to the hoop. If you're having a bad day, if something's going on and you need a little bit of a release, you go and you hula hoop, and it's almost like it's taking that icky, bad, yucky stuff that was there, and it's pulling it and pushing it out and away. And
Can we say expunge?
Yes, it's
Expunging.
and there's no room for it anymore. You're pushing, you're expunging, you're pushing it out, and there's no room for it anymore. And all of a sudden, it's almost like when you dive into the water, and all of a sudden your whole body is immersed, and you think, what was the problem?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Ooh, we like that.
Yes, we love that.
I'll tell you what the problem is. We have to take another break.
No, that's
But
silly.
we're going to have you for a few more moments after that. So don't leave. Don't touch that dial. Don't change your browser. Stay right here. The Art of Life.
I'm Hong Jiang, host for Asia in Review on Tuesdays.
And I'm David Day, host for Asian Review on Thursdays. Both of us broadcast our respective shows at 4 p.m.
And my topics tend to deal with questions related to environment, culture, history, and sometimes human rights.
And my shows tend to be on international business, foreign policy, geopolitics, and national security. And you can watch our shows live on the ThinkTech website at thinktechhawaii.com.
And you can also watch us on YouTube or Olalo.
So come join us on Thursdays at 4 p.m. I'm David Day.
And on Tuesdays at 4 p.m., I'm Hong Jiang.
Aloha.
Aloha.
They'll check us out.
Look at the Art of Life. Well, when we cut away to break, we are brainstorming ways that we can infuse new ideas and tactics here into the art of life. It is an ongoing process. My hope in the near future, fingers crossed, is that we will have the live capacities to be outdoors or on site so we can see all of the things that my guests do, because we're so much more than just this floating head sitting in a folding chair. I would love for you guys to hoop. I'd like you to see George do tango. I'd like for you to see the Kenny Endo play taiko and all that good stuff. So we're working on it, my friends. It's one step at a time. Now, speaking of step, how's this for a transition? I'm going to go there. I hope you don't mind. She doesn't know what I'm going to say because that's live TV. You sustained some injuries, some very serious ones, and yet you're still hooping. The reason that I want you, in your comfort level, to discuss that is that because sometimes people think that if they've had an injury, somehow that just eliminates a whole bunch of activity. And you are living proof that that's just not the case.
It's a frame of mind. It's actually the thing that got me walking again. I did sustain some serious injuries this year. I had 2 broken feet. And
Wait, did you hear that? She didn't have 1 broken foot. She had 2 broken feet at the same time.
At the same time. Yes, I know.
Couldn't have been winning the lottery or something like
Something.
that with those odds.
I know. And it was awful too, because I broke the first one and I called her or texted her when I was on the way to the hospital with the second one. And I was like, I broke the other one. And she's like, I just don't even believe it.
It's a royal flush.
It's a royal flush. So it was a year off. It was 11 months off of my feet. And it's amazing that it was that long. I can't believe it.
You're amazing. Really.
Thank you.
Damn.
I attribute my recovery to hoop dance. This is really my passion.
Yeah.
And I was in the doctor's office with my boyfriend, and they did call my other doctor, and we were all on speakerphone, and we had the discussion. I had some secondary complications with the injuries to my feet, and we had the conversation that they thought that I may never walk normally again, let alone dance, and that I should definitely be trying to find a different profession, so to speak. And
I think you should be a banker.
maybe a desk job, right? Something pushing papers.
Yeah.
And I said, no, that's not. That's just not how I do things. So, you get by with a little help from your friends.
Yeah.
And living and plastic, and and this was what drove me to walk again.
Yeah.
The thought of not being able to dance, the thought of not being able to share this, really, the thought of not being able to
live your joy.
To live my joy and my passion really, really drove me. It was a lot of tears and a lot of work, and I'm still getting there, but it was a lot of tears and a lot of work, but it is what got me walking. It was that I'm going to do it. They say I can't do it. I'm going to have my boyfriend stand there like this and go, come on, baby, you can do it. And through tears and screaming, I'm going to take that step no matter how hard it is and how painful it is. I'm going to do this.
Yeah.
And it is what drove me. I love it, and I'm passionate about it. And so.
And you have a wonderful dynamic partner to help you in the pursuit.
Yes, we definitely behoove each other tremendously. We all have limitations all the time.
What would we do without each other? Really, I think all the time. Yeah.
Can I give it small claps of joy?
I know, right?
Awesome.
Yes. So yes, it was a journey, as it all is. And we do call it your hoop journey. You know, just even finding hoop dance.
Yeah.
From the moment that you get your first hoop through the entire ride, it's kind of your hoop journey, your hoop life.
A hoop dream.
Some people even put the hoop away for a little while. I mean, it happens. Sometimes people, even drop it for a year or two and then pick it back up. And
it happens frequently with any practice. That can be piano or archery or tango or what have you. And sometimes there's that whole internal dialogue of guilt. Like you think, oh, it's been 3 weeks since I went to class. Suddenly it's like, oh my God, it's been 6 months. It's been a year. I'm such a hack. And then you feel bad. But all you have to do at some point is just pick up the hoop or go to class or go with a friend. And it's amazing. The body and the spirit remember so much. And I think that that's something that's really important to assert. Get off your duff and go back to whatever it is that you love to do, because it's a continuum, you know? And I think that the symbolism of the hoop is that you never really know where it starts or where it
the
ends.
infinite thing.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And I think, as just like you said, like as with any practice, I think that's exactly what it is, and also a good metaphor for life. Like we're always practicing. There's always something more to learn. There's always another expansion you can go through. But there's definitely some of that going inward and ceasing and what's the word? Plateauing maybe. Yeah, definitely.
I'm just going to ask some random things. Can you hoop in a seated position, like with an arm or a neck,
Totally.
or on the floor?
I've learned with
like a leg?
Twirling that absolutely you can just do it from a seated position. We could probably even have Kate show you from a seated position here. But yeah, there's so much you can do. I mean, Kate can actually stand on her head and hoop
Do
out
you
with her
have
toes
small animals ever?
No
Not
jump
yet.
throughs with objects or anything.
I don't know. I was
or
thinking like
animals.
a small little chihuahua could like get into
a bunny.
I don't know.
We've had a few friends who
I'm a little ahead of the
I
game.
haven't personally. It's cute.
I'm
It
just
is cute.
getting silly here. How about sound? Have there been hoops created that have maybe bells or sounds or?
That sounds kind of
I don't
delightful.
know.
No.
I
think
have
you're onto
heard of
something.
I have heard of ones that have little pukas that are put in it, so that it has a whistling noise
sound?
and
like those tubes.
yeah, kind of like
Yeah.
that. So it has whistling noises, and of course, like the original hula hoops had, what was it, beads or
So yeah, like a
something.
The
small
shoop
bear-
shoop.
the shoop
Yeah.
shoop sound that was in there. We tend to find that anything in the hoop kind of
Bothersome.
it's very bothersome. Yeah, the noise can get a little bit too much, and also it can disrupt the balance
Okay.
of the hoop. It'll go around a few times, and then you'll have this weird wonky weight distribution problem. And so
Just like when you have the comforter inside of the washing machine.
that is it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's a good noise.
Wowza. Ladies, I want to make sure that we have the call to action. Call your congressperson. No, that's the wrong one.
Wrong show.
So you have events on Sundays and
Yes.
classes on Saturdays and classes on Tuesdays. Tell us all about where your classes are, where people can hook up with a hoop connection if they want to gift themselves or somebody else. Your website, all of that good stuff. We just want to know, how do we stay in touch?
Okay, to you.
Oh yeah, currently Tuesday evenings at 7 we teach indoor classes at the Still and Moving Center. That does happen to be our only indoor facility at present moment. But on Thursdays and Saturdays we're at Waikiki Beach Walk on Lure Street. Thursday evenings at 5:45 to 7, and Saturdays from 4 to 5. But we tend to stay a little late.
The
And
people
then-
at the Yard House get a great show.
Oh yeah, it's a good
They
time.
do. Nobody wants to put it down. We're always
Yes.
yeah. We don't
And then
have the heart.
lastly, on Sunday evenings, we have Hoop Jam, which is just a local community event. We don't actually instruct there, but you're free to bring yourself and your friends or your family. It's definitely kid-friendly and pet-friendly, and
it's
you can
free.
just come play, like
free.
we'd mentioned earlier, and you can come play and do all those fun things.
Now, can we hire you? A bar mitzvah, a
You
bradal
can.
shower,
We
a
are
party?
those
for
things.
hire, yes.
We are
indeed.
for hire.
That just sounds like a cool thing to have for a get-together. You know?
We've done all those things. We've done birthday parties and bachelorette parties and bridal showers.
Yeah.
And gosh, CEO team building workshops for corporations. And yeah, I mean, it's really across the board.
Yeah.
And that's typically actually like instruction. We do many workshops. Sometimes we perform, but more often we're asked to do.
Group participatory type things.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
It's a lot more fun than
Totally
just
fun.
watching. When you actually get people in it, because if you do perform, it's a beautiful thing, especially with the LEDs. It's gorgeous for a party. People love it, the fire, the LED. But when you do have that group participation, everybody really wants to play.
A lot of
Yeah.
smiles.
They love watching it, but at the end they always come up. There's always people filtering and say, can I just touch it?
They're
So it
counting
helps.
coup.
Yeah, so we really do try to bring extras,
Yeah.
big adult size ones, so people can play with it as well. So
That is so cool.
yeah, get them in there.
Me gusta.
Yeah.
Twirling Girlish
Thank
on
you.
Facebook. Yes?
Yes.
So that's how they can get in touch with you and get your
Absolutely.
digits.
Or
Make it
twirlinggirlish@gmail.com.
twirlinggirlish.com.
Excellent.
Twirlinggirlish.com is our website.
Ladies, is there anything else you'd like to share with us? Some insights or some cones of wisdom or, you know, thoughts about the community or, I don't know.
I was just going to say, if you pick up a hoop outside of any instruction, to just be easy with yourself and stick with it, because it's a lot of fun, but make sure you have a tool that is the right size for you, because that's really super helpful. Yeah.
It's a lot like playing guitar. God bless my mama, but once upon a time she bought a guitar and the action was really high. We didn't know. And then it was steel string. And so,
Oh my.
so that was like the guitar I tried to learn how to play on, and I was like ready to get like all the Who, like Pete Townsend, and smash that thing because it was just too high of a learning curve. It was not, it wasn't adapted for a beginning experience. And I think that that's exactly what you're saying with the hoop, is that if you don't have the appropriate tool in your pursuit, it may not even just be hard, it might be impossible. And I don't like saying that, but you know.
Well, when I first tried my little Tinkerbell hoop, that was the thing, is I went home and I wanted to play with it, and I couldn't
Very
make it work
defeating.
for the life of me. I could not keep that thing up, and I thought, I cannot be the only person with this challenge. And so I literally Googled how to hula hoop, and that's when I saw hoop dance.
Yeah.
And I went, well, what am I doing?
I'm so glad that you took the initiative to seek out knowledge, because some people would make the leap and they'd say, oh, well, I guess I'm getting old and I used to do this as a kid. I mean, that's such a common mindset, is people just assume I'm old, therefore I suck, I'm dilapidated, I'm run down.
We had this 93-year-old woman buy 2 hoops for her and her 75-year-old daughter or something. They were
I was hoping you were going to
adorable.
say 75-year-old boyfriend.
Oh,
A real cougar.
Right? Yeah.
That's awesome.
We
93.
did hoop classes with them, mother and daughter, and it was very sweet.
They were adorable.
That
They
is
were
awesome.
the cutest ever,
Mother, I might try to get you into hoop dancing if you watch this episode.
There's no excuse.
No
Age,
excuse.
Physical, whatever's going on with you, you can do it. Did you see the lovely video of the girl that is in the wheelchair, paralyzed?
I
from
have
the waist?
seen multiple wheelchair
Beautiful.
hooping.
Absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
So there really is not a limitation with this. You can do it. When I was down for the 11 months, I really I made a lot of them. I taped a lot of hoops and I played with it, and as much as I could, I swung it above my head, I swung it around my chair.
Which also, we had discussed this earlier, is that injury gave you insight. About not only your journey, but also how to explain different things in the teaching process, and really fascinating. You turned what could have been a setback into an actual positive thing.
Well, when you can't use your body to show something, it's really wonderful to be able to say, Kate, come over here and show them how to do it.
Be my puppet.
Yeah, be my puppet. Right, exactly. I'm your master. But when you can't use your body to show somebody how to physically do something with a prop, and you're forced to use your words, you're forced to break down the move in a way that you might not have understood it yourself.
Yeah.
And so it created, I felt like a stronger teacher for having come through it.
My favorite yoga teachers are like the very verbose ones that can explain and help give you that image in your mind, as opposed to the ones that are like super bendy and flexible and they're cool to look at. But for me, my brain is like, yum, yum, yum. So kudos to that. We've run out of time. It's that time that I loathe on The Art of Life, which is the end of an episode. But ladies, I want to have you again. We're going to find the means to have it real and live and full body, and maybe we'll just make a show of it and have all of our full body guests doing their thing. And let me stroke my chin and think about that. Jay's going to hear about this. Thank you so much for taking out your time on a busy Friday, on a beautiful sunny day in July.
Thank you for having us.
And
Indeed.
you guys are awesome, and I love you. And I think you're bringing such a beautiful energy and art form to the islands and globally. So thank you for that.
Likewise, my dear.
Yeah. So now that we've all experienced the love, we hope you tune in next week. Our guest is going to be Albert. Albert who? Well, you'll have to check out and see, but he's going to tell us about the secret life of being both a ghostwriter and an independent journalist on The Art of Life. Have a wonderful weekend. We are keeping it Pono.